Hey, welcome back. I'm really excited about today's video. We have an hour-long video with a handstand guide brought to you by the NamaStream community. So I started up this new endeavor of a monthly service where I'll be posting hour-long videos, live classes, and also tutorials like how to do handstand. And you can check that out by clicking the link below to sign up. After that, we won't have any more hour-long videos here on the YouTube channel, but I'll be posting them 3 a month, every month. So make sure to go over there and check that out. And I hope you'll join. Enjoy today's video. For today, you need either a tennis ball or a yoga tune-up ball. I'm using a yoga tune-up ball. You can find those on my website, on the Amazon shop. Hey, calm down. Or just tuneupfitness.com. Relax yourself. He hears ball and he knows. He's biting me because he thinks the ball's gonna come out. He's like, where's the ball? Yeah, you know the word. Okay, sorry, anyways. Hey, calm down. He never does this until I start saying B-A-L. Okay, calm down. All right, so you need that, and then also, do you need a block? Yeah, have yourself a block or a bolster or something. Okay, so we're gonna start off in, he's freaking out. We're gonna start off in child's pose. Start in child's pose. Where's the ball? Okay, so just take an opportunity here to let your hips release back and down. And then let your navel release into your spine and visualize your breath spreading into your back ribs, like your back ribs starting to open up everywhere. Then start to press your hands down evenly into the mat. And I just want you to notice when you push your hands down, to what degree do you feel this part of your neck tensing up at the base of the neck by your upper traps? Ideally, we want to be able to stretch and energize and press with the hands without that part of the neck gripping up. The problem is that it's chronically gripped up, it's chronically tight because of poor posture, because of improper breathing, and then just strengthening the muscles in the wrong way when we have poor posture. So we're gonna do a little technique with the ball to help to loosen those muscles up in your neck so that when you go to activate your arms, you're using the right muscles, you're using your stabilizers in your shoulders instead of your upper traps. See, he knows, he knew it was coming out. Okay, so lie down onto your back now. So before we start really warming up the muscles, let's just make sure we're warming up the right ones. Okay, so Stacey's gonna lie down onto, calm down, Barry, you don't get to play right now. Stacey's gonna lie down on her back, and this goes right in her upper trap, right where the border of the inner border of the scapula is, top border of the scapula. So she's gonna lie down with the ball right there. And I'm gonna point to it on my body so you can see it. I'm wearing a tank top. So here's the inner border of my blade. Here's the top of my shoulder blade. It goes right above the top inner border, just pinned right there. Then she's gonna lift her butt up and slide a block underneath because that's gonna give her a little more pressure into that spot. Okay, then she's going to open her arms out to the side. Ollie, come here. And then she's just going to kind of like lean her shoulders side to side to explore the length of that upper trap because it runs from like your neck, I don't have it anymore, it runs from your neck towards your shoulder. Okay, then she's gonna pin the spot that feels like it's tightest, that needs the most love, attention, abuse from the ball, then takes the arm straight up to the ceiling. And then she's gonna inhale, start to reach her arm back and look over to the side to stretch. So she looks away from the arm as the arm goes back. And then back up. I know, it's intense, right? And then back, reaches back and looks to the side to help to open that muscle up. And then back up. And then one more time. So you can really feel that muscle wanting to fire into the ball. The ball is also training that muscle to stay more relaxed as the arm stretches, which is really important. Okay. Let's see, what other movement should we do? Okay, now take the arm down at your side. And then let's see if you can roll the ball along the inner border of the scapula, inner border of your shoulder blade, and between the shoulder blade and the spine. Like you kind of have to like push with your heels and lean it in more, and then roll it back along the top border. So you're just rolling along the top and inner border of your blade. Should feel pretty good, or might feel very naughty. Okay, good. All right, then remove the ball. And just for a moment, our friends at Tune Up Fitness, they hook us up all the time with balls on retreats and everything. So I just wanted to give a shout out. We use these Tune Up Fitness balls. They're great, and so we're using that today. So take that ball right for your upper trap. Your dog will also go crazy if you're trying to use the ball. It's not playtime. Okay, so take your arms out to the side and just start to roll side to side. So if you ever get an opportunity to come on the retreat too, we always bring a suitcase full of these balls, which ends up, we just got back from Bali, you get all kinds of charges for bringing balls for 30 people. But this is great stuff that we do in the afternoon classes on the retreats. We do all these different myofacial release techniques with the balls, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so after you've rolled side to side, pin that spot that feels like it needs the most attention. Take your arm straight up, and then as you inhale, let the arm fall back slowly as you look to the side, and let that muscle relax. So go slow enough and hang out there a little bit longer if you need to. Then bring your arm back up. And as you inhale, slowly let your arm fall back and look to your side. And then back up. Last one, inhale, let the arm fall back as you look to your side. And then arm back up. Okay, last one. We're just gonna roll, so drop your arm down and then roll along the inner border of the scapula. You use your heels. You can go up and down there a little bit more if you like. Yeah, you can move the block so you can get into the spot. And just kind of like, I like to like think like I'm shimmying my shoulders. Or like, sometimes I think I'm like, I'm in a Montel Jordan video from like 1990 when this is how we do it, when he's doing the shimmy shoulder hands thing. The hands, watch the video, the hands are very expressive throughout the whole video. There's all kinds of hand expression going on. Watch the video now, you can't miss it. Okay, then enough of that. Move the ball out to the side. Okay, so it should feel like now, let's go to child's pose. Hopefully all that was worth it. The dog and all the shenanigans. Come into child's pose and see if you can activate your arms better. Like it should feel like, oh, my arms stretch better now in child's pose. I can press into my hands better, and I feel like those muscles in my neck don't want to tense up so much. Then come up onto your hands and your knees. All right, hands right underneath your shoulders, knees and your hips. And let's just turn on our core stabilizers, the muscles that run up and down your spine. Make sure those are firing, so elongate from your pelvic floor towards the crown of your head. Then send your right arm forward without your ribs twisting at all. Now make sure that that upper trap doesn't hike up. So even if you can't take the arm as far, keep that upper trap relaxed, but then engage the muscles of your arm, stretch those muscles and reach. Lower your hand down. Change sides, just send the left arm forward. Don't take it up your highest at first because we don't want that upper trap to yank up. Then lower your arm down. Stretch your left leg back. Then send your right arm forward without leaning to the side. So use your strong right outer hip. And we worked on this a bunch in the movement series, or actually that ends in the future. In the movement series this week. Has that come out yet? I'm not sure. In a few days. Lower your hand and your knee. Inhale, change sides. Exhale, lower your hand and your knee. Inhale, change sides. And make sure you keep that space for the back of your neck, right where the ball was. Don't let that come up. Lower back down. Inhale, change sides. and lower down. Good. Now step back into plank pose, one leg at a time. Press down into your middle 3 knuckles, very important. And then imagine I was holding your wrists for you and lifting your wrist up. Draw energy up the wrists. Then spread wide here across the tops of the blades and across the collarbones. But the wider that you spread there and open up, the more your middle wants to sink. Stacy's doing a good job of keeping it in though. Keep your middle in as you widen across the collarbones, which are right here, and widen across the tops of the blades. Now energize your legs. Root your big toe mounds. Firm your legs, stretch, reach past your inner heels. And then slowly stretch back to downward facing dog. Keeping the space for the upper trap, right where the ball was. Don't let that hike up. Even if you can't go as far as you normally do, that's okay. Inhale into plank pose. Better to practice the stability in motion instead of jamming yourself and using the wrong muscles. Exhale, stretch back into dog. Inhale, glide forward into plank pose. Exhale, stretch back into dog. Last one, inhale, glide into plank. Exhale, back into dog. Then walk your hands all the way back to your feet and fold forward at the back of your mat. So in addition to being able to use your arms properly, we also need to start to warm up the back body. We need a deep forward fold to go into the handstand with ease. And I'm going to show some key identifying poses that will help to train your body to be able to go into the pose. Come all the way up to stand. Okay, now one last thing, take your block, and hopefully you do not have a wood block. Stacy's going to have to suffer right now, sorry Stacy, with this wood block. She's going to hold the block out in front of her and turn on, I'll make it so heavy for you. I'll give you, you can rest it on me a little. She's going to activate her arms while still widening the collarbones and releasing the upper traps. So what does it mean to activate? Just like straighten the arms, turn on the triceps. Now raise your block up halfway at home and pause there. Wait, make sure your upper traps didn't hike up. Make sure your collarbones are still wide. Now your waist wants to push forward, don't let it. Keep your middle in, just like we practiced in plank. Keep the triceps turned on without crunching the neck. Now raise the block up as high as you can without your middle pushing forward or your thighs. Stretch through the fingers instead of curling them around the block. Have you been curling them? Are you cheating? Stretch the fingers, turn on the triceps, and then bring the block back down. That was really good. Nice job. Bring your arms back down. Now try it one time without the block. Send the block hands straight out in front of you. Imagine you're holding the block and raise the arms halfway without the waist coming forward. Keep the space for the base of your neck. Raise the arms up higher, higher. Now the point where you feel your traps start to take over, I want you to just pause there. Don't go any further. Okay, now to get the arms all the way up, you have to take the thoracic spine into extension. So now start to take the middle upper back in and up, lift the chest up and take the hands higher. That's how you get the hands to go all the way up. If you keep yourself truly in neutral, you won't be able to get the full range of motion. Good, and then fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, make a flat back, elongate your spine. Then walk your hands out one handprint at a time into plank pose. Inhale, lengthen in your plank. Exhale, lower slow with control all the way down onto your belly. Then point your toes back and inhale into low cobra. Roll your chest forward, spread collarbones. Press the tops of the feet, lift the inner thighs up, spin your groins up towards the ceiling. Really important, that groin action. Now engage the backs of the legs and the glutes as you draw your navel up. Make sure that the groins didn't harden down. Place the hands all the way back under the elbows and then roll into up dog, or just hold in cobra an extra couple breaths if you're not a deep back bender. Stretch back to down dog now. Step your right foot up by your right thumb. Lower your back knee down. Bring your hands to your right knee and upright yourself. Inhale. Then raise your left arm up. Be mindful the way you take your arm up, Imagine like it's still like you're holding the block, so you're training your handstand arms whenever you take your arm up. Then slide your right hand to your hip and hook your left elbow to your knee. So this will be a good stretch to open up the back of the neck, shoulder, where we're going to need those muscles to be able to work well. If they're very tight all the time, remember, they're not going to allow the arm to move in its full range of motion. Join your palms together. Now let the chest start to spread and open. So also these muscles in your upper back, through twisting, it helps to open them up. So again, the shoulder blade will move better, the arm will move better, all from the twisting motion in the upper back. Keep lengthening your spine so that you get the pose to move up into the thoracic spine. Then bring your hands back down to the mat. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee up. Now come up onto your fingertips, reach your chest forward, get as long as you can in the lunge. Imagine your sit bones are reaching straight back behind you, the crown is reaching forward. Then we'll do one more twist here. Plant the left hand flat, take your right arm up. Good, now roll your chest forward to the front. Bring your hand back down, step back to downward dog. Step your left foot up by your left thumb. Lower your back knee. Bring your hands onto your left knee and start to upright yourself. Draw your navel up as you send your right arm forward, then raise the arm straight up. Just be mindful. Keep focusing on the action where the ball was when you're holding the block. Then slide your left hand to your hip as you hook your elbow to your knee. Press the elbow down, lift from your navel up to your chest. Join the palms together. Make sure that your back didn't round over your knee, but instead you're lengthened through the midline. What does that mean? Like I drew a line down the center of your mat. Feel the places in your body that feel like they're trying to shrink in this position, and instead expand into your skin. Use your breath. Bring your hands back down, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee up, and get as long as you can in your lunge here. Come up onto your fingertips now. Open the pelvic floor towards the back inner ankle and the crown of the head towards the front wall. We're going to talk more about the energetic centers and the chakras in the series that's coming up. I'm very excited about that series. Make sure to, well, you're going to be getting all the info, the emails anyway, because you already signed up. But I'm really excited about that series that we're going to be releasing soon. Now plant your right hand flat. Twist and take your left arm up. Keep lengthening through your spine as you're twisting. Naturally, your muscles just want to give up in the twist. They want to shrink down on themselves, so we can encourage the health of the spine by actively reaching. Bring your hand back down. Step back into plank pose. Glide back to dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of the mat, and we'll warm up better with some salutations. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, raise your arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to your heart, Samastiti. Good, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Step back and lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold in your dog pose. Now, just like we practiced in the twist, that idea of expanding into the body. So as you hold in down dog, the tendency is going to be to try to push yourself deeper into the pose. Instead, go to the place where it still feels like you can expand into the skin. So it might be that you have to move yourself out of the pose just a little bit from where you're used to going. This is actually a more advanced practice. Sometimes people think like, if I'm getting deeper in the poses, that means my practice is advancing. The longer you practice, you realize that's not really true. Instead, we're trying to cultivate awareness. And sometimes we can cultivate more awareness if we pull ourselves out of the pose just a little bit. So don't think that your down dog has to look better from year to year the longer you practice yoga. It's a common misconception I'm seeing on the internet these days. Walk your feet all the way forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms up. Exhale the hands to your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha, flat back, lengthen. Step back and lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold in your dog and breathe. Now make sure that you're reaching down even into your hands. Reconnect into the middle three knuckles. Now spin your biceps forward. So shift forward just a little bit. You can see how Stacy rolls forward a little bit to help to rotate the biceps forward. Now draw your thigh bones up into the socket and then back, like I had a rope across your hips and I was drawing you back. But at the same time, keep reaching even into the hands. Make sure you don't lock your elbows to do it. There you go. Let the neck release and lengthen. Like the crown of your head is heavy, like there's a weight, let it drop. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or float up to the front of the mat. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, Samasthiti. Sun Salute B, inhale into chair pose, bend your knees and sit back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Step back and lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Let's do one more B salutation. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or float lightly up to the front. Inhale, Ardha, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend knees, sit back. Press up to stand, Samasthiti. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step or float back to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold in your dog pose. Recommit to the work in the arms. Keep educating your arms. So this is like the preparation work for your handstand here, how you're working your arms each time you do down dog. Expand into the arms, into the hands. Now start to stretch those thighs up and back even further. Back, back, back. Open up the armpits. Good job. Now bring your feet together in down dog. Roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. Take your right arm up. Vashisthasana, side plank. Bring your right hand onto your hip for a moment. Now as you press down into your middle three knuckles on the left hand, roll the top of the bicep forward, right where it meets the shoulder. Make sure you don't lock the elbow to do it. Then expand across your collarbones and the tops of your blades. Press to your heels, head back in line with the spine. Press the blades in. Take your right arm up. Then rotate your right arm externally and reach it all the way over. Good, then slowly, with control, glide back into down dog. So the control is important. When we move slow through these transitions, you're teaching all your stabilizers in your shoulders and your arms how to work. We need that strength and stability to be able to go into handstand. Now roll onto the outside edge of your right foot and take your left arm up. So reach down into those, activate the middle three knuckles in your right hand. Make sure your right elbow isn't locked. Left hand on your hip for a moment. Really get into that right hand. Now spread your chest, spread your tops of the blades. And as you press the bottom of the blades in, lean the head back into alignment with the rest of the spine. Activate your legs, reach to your heels. Then re-extend your left arm, take it up. Externally rotate and reach it all the way over. Now open up through that left side like you're trying to arch through it and reach past the heel, past the fingers. Good, then slowly with control, glide back into down dog. Step your right foot for warrior two. Inhale, come up. Line up your feet heel to heel. I used to always say heel to arch. Now I'm more into heel to heel for the space that it creates for the pelvis. Balance your head right over top of the pelvic floor and open your chest through the reach of the arms. Make sure that those upper traps, the same places that we rolled with the ball, aren't hiking up to hold the arms up. So you can train those muscles even better. And all these aren't positions, all these postures where the arms are just held up at the side. Then from here, go into extended side angle. Bring your forearm down onto your thigh or hand onto the block and take your left arm all the way over your ear. So here's yet another opportunity to educate the top arm. As the arm's extending, make sure that that trap, the upper trap, the muscle that we're rolling with the ball, isn't firing up into your neck. Good, keep your back heel anchored and see if you can let your right thigh drop just a little deeper. Then lift from your navel, come back up to warrior two. Straighten your right leg and prepare for triangle pose. So tip from the pelvis out over the right leg, keep your right knee pointing straight ahead. Keep reaching down evenly through all four corners of your feet. And now to help to bring length into the lower back, as you draw your right outer hip back and in, pin your left outer hip bone into it. And then see if that can get more space and length through your spine. Maybe you can even tip a little bit deeper from that pinning of the hips. Make sure that doesn't make your back contract though. If you pin the hips too aggressively, the back muscles will start to fire up. Instead, pin the hips in an effort to help to elongate the lower back. Then lift from your belly, Bend your right knee, come back up into warrior two. Bring your hands to the mat, step back to down dog or out of vinyasa, your call. Step your left foot, inhale, come up. Right up into warrior two. So the feet are lined up like inner heel to inner heel. Turn the left thigh out. Now I know that's not a classic alignment of the feet. If you look in Light on Yoga, he'll have you go heel to arch in this pose. Turn your left thigh all the way out so that the knee is pointing straight ahead. The center of your ankle, the center of your knee, and the center of your hip are all tracking. Pretend like there were very high bar stools under your hands and you're pushing down into your hand with your hands. Activate the arms, but make sure that you don't crunch up your traps to do it or narrow your chest. Then see if you can let that left thigh sink maybe a little deeper and come into extended side angle. Bring your forearm to your thigh or hand onto the outside of your foot. Inhale, come back up into warrior two. Then straighten your left leg, turn the thigh all the way out, adjust your stance, get even across your feet, and then tip from your pelvis, start to reach out over your left leg. As the outer hip bones draw in towards each other, maybe it can help the pelvis to tip a little bit further and the spine to elongate. Whatever you do, don't force yourself deeper. Make sure it's your breath and the expansion into your body that's calling you deeper into the pose, instead of the content of your mind urging you through ego to push deeper. It should always feel like the body feels so open that you're being called into a deeper position. Or like moving a little deeper would help to open up the body even more. Now reach into your feet evenly, bend your knee, lift your navel, come back up to warrior two. Vinyasa, hands to the mat, step back. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale, come up. Bring the hands onto the hips. Straighten your right leg. Step your back foot a little bit closer. Now roll your shoulders back and inhale. Exhale, tip from your pelvis and start to fold forward halfway. Then set your fingertips down onto blocks or onto the floor. So this pose is super important for your handstand. This is one of the keys to unlocking your handstand, because this is kind of what the legs do right before you go up. So we need the hamstrings to be open enough to be able to take the legs up and over with ease. Not that you can't do it without open enough hamstrings, it's just that it doesn't look very graceful, and it isn't very graceful. So as you lengthen your spine here, keep stretching into your feet evenly and drawing the thighs up. Then draw your navel in and lengthen all the way out over your leg now. Bring your head towards your ankle. Let the whole back of the spine start to open. You might feel that you can go deeper into the pose by walking your hands forward or walking your hands back. You can play with either one to see if it helps you to go deeper into the pose. Good, then inhale, come back up into a flat back position. Put your left hand onto your right ankle. Put your right hand onto your hip. Now we're going to work the stabilizers in the legs. Press into your feet, but pin the hips for stability. Now lengthen your spine and start to turn your chest open. Now, just like in the twist we did at the beginning, remember that the length is going to help to open up those muscles in the back that get all tight. So this is an effort to help to open the body, not to try to jam the body deeper into a shape just for the glory of being deep in the shape. So keep feeling that the pose that you're holding is helping you to open up. And if you feel ready to take your right arm up, if it would help you to stretch and twist even more, then you can take your arm up. But if it creates more tension in your neck or something like that, just keep your hand down. Eventually looking up is the full expression of the pose. But if it tenses your neck, then just looking straight ahead would be better. Bring your hands down. Standing splits, raise your back leg up from the inner thigh. Bow your forehead towards your ankle. Just let your head drop now. Lower your left leg to meet your right and fold forward. Inhale, Ardha, flat back. Exhale, fold deeper. Now let's take an opportunity to practice crow pose. So lift your heels up a little bit and lower your buttocks down onto your heels. Then take your knees wide apart. Start to walk your hands forward. We'll go into Malasana first. Just get deep into your Malasana. Head down, navel in. So modified Malasana with arms forward. Keep letting the navel plug in even as you breathe in. So let the breath spread into your lower back, middle back. All right, now start to slide the hands back a bit to prepare to go into crow. Hook those knees way high up into your outer upper arms. Now start to hug in and lean forward. Lift the hips up, pull up from your belly and come up into crow pose. See if you can straighten the arms and pull up high with your heels. Touch the buttocks towards the heels, touch the heels to the buttock. And then lightly float or step back to Chaturanga. So a lot of that power that we're developing for crow, the lift from the pelvic floor and the belly to float up, is very important for all of our arm balances, handstands, headstands, etc. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Then bring your hands onto your hips. Straighten your left leg. Step your back foot a little closer. Roll your shoulders back and inhale, chest open. Exhale, start to tip forward. Then put your fingertips down onto the floor, onto the blocks. As you inhale, elongate your spine. Imagine you're opening the pelvic floor to the wall behind you and the crown of the head to the wall in front of you, and creating as much space with your breath in between those 2 points. Now navel in, lengthen all the way out over your leg. And you might feel that walking the hands forward or back helps you to get more space, extension. Flexion, sorry. Whichever one you need to do. Then inhale into a flat back position, walk the hands back under the shoulders. Put your right hand onto your ankle, left hand on your hip. So this is going to force you to use the stabilizers in your legs. It's a balance challenge too. Find your length, and then start to turn the chest. If it feels like taking up the arm would take you deeper into the pose, it would help to break up tension, then start to take your arm up. But if it causes more tension in your shoulders and your neck, no sense in taking the arm up. Then bring your hand back down, standing splits. Raise your back leg up as you bow your forehead towards your ankle. Then lower your right leg to meet your left and fold forward. Good, then squat down for crow pose, round number 2. This time, scoot yourself back a little bit so you can have the opportunity to lower into tripod headstand. So after you walk the arms forward, then hook the knees into the arms, arms up into the knees. Place the hands down flat and start to lean into your chaturanga arms. Pull up high here, pull your belly up, lift from the pelvic floor and the belly to pull up. Now as light as you can, as long as the neck is healthy, slowly lower the crown of the head down onto the floor. Pause there. Now lift the shoulder blades out of the ears. Feel the hands press evenly, draw the elbows in. If you feel very steady here, then take the legs up. Heels towards the butt, then legs all the way up. Keep lifting your shoulder blades out of your neck. Then slowly bring the knees back into the arms and see if you can lift back into crow pose from that position. This requires a whole lot of strength from your belly. Pelvic floor belly, pull up and lift back up into crow. Nice. All right, make your way back to chaturanga. Just remember, it's a practice. It's not a perfect. So if you had some wiggles, strugglings with that, no worries. Just keep practicing and you'll get better at it the more that you do it. All right, from down dog, now walk your hands back to your feet. Take your feet hip socket distance apart and hook your big toes. Inhale, stretch your chest forward, elongate your spine. Exhale, fold forward, let your head drop. Now open up the backs of the knees. It'll feel like the backs of the knees get very sticky. So open up, spread your breath into the backs of the knees. Open the middle of the hamstrings. Think crow pose belly, malasana belly. So let the navel below the navel, the skin below your navel and between your pubic bone and your navel, release it back to the spine and then up towards your heart. And as you breathe in, instead of your belly pushing forward and out, let your breath move into your lower back, sacrum, and let that whole area start to spread. Now let the back of your skull hang heavy towards the floor. Drop it, and let the whole back body open, spread, widen. Then release the big toes and slide your hands underneath your feet. See if you can get the toes to go all the way to the crease of the back of the wrist, even if you have to bend the knees a little bit. Then fold deeply. Good, release your hands out from under your feet. Now walk back into plank pose. Set your knees down onto the mat. So now we're gonna do a couple exercises just to warm up our wrists before we go to bear weight. So from here, I want you to lift the heel of your hand up and then lift all the way up onto your fingertips. And then slowly lower the hands back down. The thumbs aren't in the equation. Just keep the thumbs pointing out to the side as you do this. Lift the heel of your hand and lift all the way up onto the tips of the fingers. And then slowly stretch the heel of the hand back down. And then lift back up. So you're controlling from your back muscles to do this and your shoulders. And then slowly lower back down instead of just sinking into the weight of your hands. Sinking your upper body into the weight of your hands. Slowly lift back up. So all you're doing is training your core and your back to support you as you put weight on your hands. Slowly lower back down. Okay, now as you press the hands evenly, keep that lifted feeling through the wrist as you step your feet back one leg at a time into plank. So just make that your intention now before we go to put weight on the hands for handstand. All right, then stretch back to down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Then bring your hands onto your hips and come all the way up to stand. All right, turn to face the wall and take your right leg up at the wall, right at hip height. Now to get your leg up in this position, a couple things want to happen. First thing is your bottom leg foot wants to turn out. Instead, keep it pointing straight ahead. Then bring your hands onto your hips and level your hips. Open your right foot into the wall, open your left foot into the floor evenly. Grow your spine tall. Take your arms forward like you're holding the block again. Spread across the tops of the blades, across the collarbones. Then start to raise your arms up without the waist pushing forward, without the left thigh coming forward. All the same stuff that we practiced when we were practicing mountain. Then the last part in this position, turn the hands like they're doing a handstand. Then reach and push through the hand, but without shrugging the shoulders, like you still have those balls in your neck. Bring your arms back down, bring your leg back down. Stand in mountain, stand tall. Take your left foot up right at hip height. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment and feel that the hips go as level as they can. Open both feet, then take your arms forward and slowly start to raise your arms as if they're holding the block. Keep energizing the arms without shrugging. Then turn the hands like you're doing the handstand. Lift the sternum, just like we practiced in mountain, so you can take the arms further back. Good, then bring your arms back down and leg back down. So you're basically doing a handstand prep there, but upside down. So now let's do it the way that we would for a handstand. So turn yourself around so you're facing the middle of the room and put the heel of the hand right in front of the toes, right where the toe, so you've already measured a leg's distance away from the wall. Then step your feet up to the wall one leg at a time, right at the baseboard. It's like you're doing a mini down dog. Now in this position, get even on your hands and create the same lift through your wrist that we were doing in the wrist exercise. Step one foot up at hip height without twisting your hips or your ribs. Now step the other foot at hip height, keeping the knees bent. Get even across your hands. Work the arms well, turn the biceps forward. Now see if you can straighten your legs and lift your hips up over your wrists. I think you're a little close, Stacy. Hands a little further away. Okay, good. If you're able to lift your hips all the way up over your wrists, then draw your ribs back into your body and reach evenly through your feet. Now if you're holding here, you're not shrugging, the breath is coming well, and you feel like you're being called even further, then try taking one leg up into the air. Slowly change legs. Remember, you're only doing this if you feel totally steady and it feels like your body is ready to do more. Lower the leg down. Good. Then bend your knees and step down one foot at a time. All right, so whatever phase that you need to be working in is totally fine. Phase one was just feet up at the wall with the knees bent. Phase two was legs straight. Phase three was working one leg and then the other. When you're done, just fold forward, let your head drop. Remember, you don't want to try to skip phases to where you feel like you're shrinking in your body. You should feel like as you're in the pose, you're expanding into the body and you're opening up and using the right muscles. All right, then bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to stand. So that's your homework to help start to practice your inversion. The more comfortable you get in that position, one day you're just gonna be able to float up at the wall super easy. So I recommend keeping practicing that preparation. Come back to your mat now. And take downward facing dog. We'll do a little closing sequence now. From down dog, look in between your hands and jump through to seated. Lie down onto your back. Bring your heels close to your buttock, feet hip distance apart. Press your heels down, lift your hips up, come up into bridge pose. Now take a hold of the sides of your sticky mat and roll up onto the tops of your shoulders. Open up your chest. As the arms press down, feel the back ribs, shoulder blades start to press in to help to mobilize the rib cage, open up the chest. But make sure that you're not straining and closing the chest. Lower yourself back down. Take a breath. Go back up, bridge or Urdhva Dhanurasana. 5 breaths, your call. Lower yourself back down. Last back bend, bridge or Urdhva, 5 breaths, go back up. Then slowly with control, lower yourself back down and take Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide apart. Just relax here, let the body start to open up. Then bring your knees together and take ankle to knee pose. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Gently hug in. Then set your left foot down onto the floor. Take your right big toe up, reach onto the inside of your knee, take your big toe, and start to stretch the leg as straight as you can. Now if your hamstrings aren't very open, you could take a strap on your foot instead. Then slowly start to extend the left leg out along the floor. Good, and release that. Change legs, cross your left ankle over your right knee and hug in towards your chest. And then set your right foot down onto the floor. Take your big toe up. Breathe the leg as long as you can. Open up through the hammy. Let both sit bones drop down out of your lower back. Both hips release down, and then start to stretch the right leg out without that left hip jumping up into your waist. And release. Hug both knees into your chest. Roll yourself up to seated. Then stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Hug your right knee into your chest. Sit up tall as you hug the shin in. Then wrap your left elbow around your knee, put your right hand behind you. Come back to center. Stretch that leg out, change legs, hug your left knee into your chest. Hug the shin in and sit tall. So these seated twists are really good for your spine if you work on lifting up through the back of the spine. So as that shin comes in, the tendency will be to slouch. Effort to sit upright. It's really good for the muscles, teaching them to keep the spine tall. Then wrap your arm around, put your left hand behind you. Let your right thigh bone release down and away from you. Reach through your right foot like it's active, like a mountain pose leg. Breathe space through the sacrum and the lower back. Let the navel release into the spine and turn up towards your left shoulder. Then come back to center. Stretch that leg out. Bend the right knee off to the side for Janu Shirshasana. Pull the right knee off to the side like a tree pose leg. Turn to face your left inner leg. Now keep releasing your right thigh down and away from you as you walk your hands out towards your foot. You might be able to hold the flat back, or you might be able to go all the way into full forward flexion. But keep working that Malasana crow pose action of releasing the belly into the spine as you bring the back of the head towards the foot. Inhale, come back up. Stretch your right leg out. Bend your left knee back. Sit up tall as you inhale. Work on your upright seat, or start to tip forward and fold forward halfway with a flat back. Make sure both thighs are releasing down and away from you. If that's happening and you feel like you're being called deeper into the pose, then go ahead, start to walk the hands forward. Bring back of the head towards the foot as the navel releases into the spine. Inhale, come back up. Stretch the left leg out. Final forward fold. Inhale, sit tall. Hold there, or start to walk the hands forward. Or go all the way into the pose. 5 breaths here. Inhale, come back up. And then slowly lower down onto your back, 1 vertebra at a time. Turn your palms up at your side. Let your feet fall open. Just relax now, let go. No more effort. Just receive the benefits of a practice well done. Start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Then gently bend your knees. Roll over to your right side. And press yourself up to seated. Sit up straight and tall. Join your palms together. Thank you. Namaste. All right, so thanks so much for joining us in today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. So from now on, these videos, they will only be on NamaStream. If you enjoyed it, go check it out over there. The link is below. You can sign up to get these hour-long videos, as well as the live classes that we have on there. So I hope you'll do that, and I'll see you next time.